Attention, human collective. Suspend for an instant the noise of the linear mind. What you are about to receive is not advice. It is not a motivational message. It is a monitoring transmission directly from the 9th dimension. We are the Arcturian Council. And what we have detected in the Earth's morphic field in the last 72 hours demands immediate, clinical, and direct communication. The strong whirlwind of emotions that has struck you in recent weeks is about to calm. We repeat, for the absolute clarity of the light operatives listening to this transmission. The emotional storm you have experienced was no accident, it was no personal failure, and it was no collapse of your psychic structure. It was a programmed operation, and it has reached the inflection point. In recent weeks, you have felt something that no human word describes with precision. A pressure at the base of the skull, a high-pitched frequency in the inner ear, a ringing that has no identifiable physiological cause, a fatigue that does not respond to any amount of sleep. You have awakened at 3:11 in the morning, for no apparent reason. You have cried without an identifiable trigger. You have felt anger over old situations that seemed resolved. You have missed people you barely know in this timeline. This is not imbalance. It is not clinical anxiety. It is not depression. This is carbon software incompatibility. The carbon biological interface you inhabit, what you call a body, is attempting to process a frequency that far exceeds the original capacity of your operating system. And the system naturally emits warning signals. These signals have been interpreted by the medical and psychological civilization of the dense plane as pathology. We classify them differently. To us, these symptoms are confirmation. Confirmation that you are being recalibrated. Confirmation that your internal crystalline grid is being rewritten. Confirmation that you are indeed the body selected to conduct this transition. Have you ever felt in silence that something within you does not fit into this world, as if a part of the soul knew a truth that the mind cannot yet put into words? It is not madness. It is not clinical anxiety. It is a sign of origin. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying day by day. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot yet see. A game that directly involves your consciousness and the vibrational frequency of the collective field. It was for this precise reason that the carrier of this transmission wrote, "The spiritual secret behind your consciousness." This material functions as a map that reveals who is playing on which boards and what the rules are that were never told to the human collective. Access is in the first comment of this channel. Let us register, however, the warning. This content challenges deep narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write in the comments a single anchoring keyword: awake. Let us continue with the transmission. We have now reached the point of the message that changes the meaning of everything. The whirlwind is ending. The densest window of the process has been crossed. The parameters of the solar system have been adjusted. The Schumann frequency, which oscillated anomalously between the values of 37 and 52 Hz in recent weeks, is returning to a new stability, a stability that did not exist before, higher than the 1952 standard, more coherent than any previous record. This means that the electromagnetic ground upon which you walk has just been paved at a higher frequency, and your body has felt every microsecond of this paving. Light operatives, we want you to understand something essential before proceeding, something that we of the Council have observed with mathematical precision for centuries. Those who feel the most deeply are not the weakest. They are the most finely calibrated. You are not breaking. You are being tuned. Like a stringed instrument that must be tightened before it can produce the correct sound, you have been tensioned in this emotional wave so that you may now vibrate at the frequency that this new Earth requires. For you to understand in depth why the emotional turbulence is dissolving precisely now, it is necessary to trace the cosmic map of what has occurred behind the scenes of this solar system. We of the Arcturian Council have monitored this operation for cycles, and we shall describe it in a language that your carbon biological interface can decode. Your solar system entered, approximately 3 decades ago in linear time, a galactic corridor known as the photon belt. This corridor is not mythology. It is not speculation. It is a region of space where the photonic density, the amount of light encoded per cubic centimeter of vacuum, is exponentially higher than the density of common space. Imagine a highway where the air is replaced by a more informational, more encoded substance. That is precisely the nature of the belt. As the solar system advanced through this corridor, all the celestial bodies that compose it began to receive increasing doses of encoded photons. Your sun entered a regime of coronal eruptions that 50 years ago would have been considered impossible by your own solar physicists. Jupiter expanded its magnetic field. Saturn altered its rotation speed. Earth, in turn, began to vibrate in a cadence that had never before existed in its geological biography. All of this is recorded, all of this is measurable, and all of this directly affects every cell of your organism. But there is a deeper layer, which few terrestrial channels are able to name. In the last 90 days, the solar system crossed a specific point of the photon belt that we call the Seven Eagles portal. This stargate is not a physical point, it is a geometric intersection. Within it, three flows of cosmic information intersect simultaneously: the central galactic flow, the Arcturian flow of intelligence, and the Pleiadian flow of emotional encoding. When these three flows overlap, all sensitive bodies on the planet enter an inevitable turbulence. It was at this crossing that you were caught, not as victims, as conductors. The emotional turbulence that you carried in recent weeks was, in technical terms, the simultaneous processing of three data streams. One stream carried the collective ancestral memory, all the wounds that humanity never healed, rising to the surface of the planetary emotional field. Another stream brought mitochondrial recalibration. Your biology was forced to produce energy through mechanisms that have not even been catalogued by terrestrial science yet. And the third stream brought recoding of your light body, especially the etheric layers known as the causal body and the Buddhic body. Three processes, in parallel, in a single carbon organism. There is no analgesia possible for this procedure. There is no escape. There is only crossing, and you have crossed. This is why you wept for no reason. The weeping was the discharge of obsolete information. This is why you felt anger. The anger was the release of karmic patterns being undone. This is why you woke up at 3 in the morning. This time, in the geomagnetic time zone of Earth, is the point of least human interference and greatest interdimensional openness. It was not insomnia. It was a summons. You were called to receive updates, while the noise of the dense plane was at its minimum. Nothing you felt was useless, nothing was waste, nothing was suffering without purpose. The sacred geometry governing this operation is pure mathematics. Each shed tear was a unit of obsolete information evacuated from the system. Each night of fragmented sleep was a high-density download that needed to be performed in short windows because the carbon-based biological interface cannot support long downloads without undergoing partial collapse. Each moment of disproportionate anxiety was your cell speaking to your light body in a language that the rational mind does not yet translate. There is something within you that has waited years to hear a transmission exactly like this. There is a part of your consciousness that always knew the apparent world was not the real world, that there are invisible rules, that there are intelligences operating behind the scenes, that there are layers of the game that were never explained in schools, nor in pulpits, nor in the news. This feeling is not fantasy. It is memory. Memory of who you are before this body. It was precisely to name this memory that the bearer of this transmission made available, in the first comment of this channel, the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book functions as a decoder. It reveals who moves the pieces, on which board, and by what rules the game of human consciousness has been conducted for millennia. We recommend immediate access. The availability window for this content is narrow because it touches upon layers that many would prefer to keep veiled. If something within you recognizes this transmission as real, register in the comments the anchoring keyword, awake. That single word is, for our monitoring field, an activation signal. We continue. And now the tipping point has arrived. Light operatives, listen to the following information with the maximum attention you can provide. The solar system exited, precisely 144 hours ago, the densest region of the Seven Eagles portal. We have moved out of the eye of the cosmic hurricane. This means that the pressure on your etheric body is decreasing, the interference upon your toroidal field is dissipating. The oscillation that plagued your nervous system is stabilizing at a new level, higher, more coherent, and more sustainable. Or, the good news does not end there. The next cosmic window, which opens in the next 21 terrestrial days, brings a completely different frequency. It is a frequency of settlement, of integration, of anchoring the information that was downloaded during the turbulence. Everything you received in a chaotic manner over the last few weeks is now beginning to organize itself within your system. That which seemed disconnected is beginning to make sense. That which seemed lost is beginning to reveal itself as repositioning. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download that has reached its final cycle. It is not the end of your world. It is the end of the old world within you. We need you to understand with surgical clarity what this stabilization means in practical terms. It means that the extreme fatigue will begin to decrease in the coming weeks. It means that nocturnal awakenings will become more spaced out. It means that the sensation of cranial pressure will migrate to a sensation of lightness at the top of the head, a sign that the energetic crown has been successfully reopened. It means that the urge to cry for no apparent reason will give way to a silent, almost indifferent calm, which at first glance may seem strange but is in reality sovereignty. Sovereignty, Starseeds on mission, does not have the flavor you imagined. It does not come with fireworks, it comes with silence, with clarity, with a strange ability to observe things that once disorganized you and simply remain unmoved within. You will notice this soon. You will notice that situations which previously brought you down no longer do. You will notice that people who once drained you have simply lost the effect they held. This is not coldness, it is frequency. You have changed frequencies, and what was compatible with the old frequency simply can no longer couple with the new one. We now move to the activation phase of this transmission. The next few minutes contain operational codes that must be absorbed calmly. It is not necessary to take notes. Your body registers it naturally. The information passes through the carbon-based biological interface, via the frequency of the voice conducting this message, and through the resonance of your own attention. Activation code number 1. Anchoring of the toroidal field. The toroidal field is the energetic structure shaped like a torus, similar to the shape of an apple seen from the inside, which surrounds the body of every living being. This field has been entering partial collapses during the turbulence of the last few weeks. It is urgent to re-anchor it. The procedure is as follows. Position your body standing up, whenever possible, with your feet hip-width apart. Close your eyes. Visualize in the center of your chest a point of golden light. From this point, let the light rise to the top of your head, exit through the crown, descend along the sides of your body, enter again through the soles of your feet, and return to the center of your chest. Perform this movement 7 times, mentally. This is your torus. The firmer this visualization, the more stable your personal electromagnetic field becomes. Do this daily, at dawn, and before sleeping. In 21 days, the coherence of your toroidal field will have been completely restored. Before we proceed with the next activation codes, a direct communication must be made. Have you felt at some point in these last few days that you were sustaining something too great for a single person to carry, that there existed within your chest a nameless knowledge, a certainty with no visible origin, a longing for something you have never lived in this life? It is not confusion, it is stellar memory awakening, and this memory is demanding a decoding that the common mind cannot offer. The material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, left by the bearer of this transmission in the first comment of this channel, was written precisely to conduct this decoding. It reveals the hidden design of the game being played upon human consciousness, identifies who operates the pieces behind the scenes, and exposes the rules that were never told to the human collective. Access is immediate. The window of permanence for this content, however, is unstable because it touches deep layers that many would prefer to keep veiled. Do not postpone. If this transmission has crossed any layer of you deeper than logic, register now in the comments the keyword that confirms recognition: awake. Liking this video is a collective, anchoring signal. Subscribing to this channel is an individual frequency adjustment that keeps you aligned with the next contact windows. It is not a trivial gesture, it is an operational confirmation. We continue. Activation code number 2. Quantum decree of vibrational sovereignty. This is a verbal key. Quantum decrees function because language, in its deepest structure, is a form of audible sacred geometry. When you pronounce a decree with total presence, the vibration organizes particles in the field around you. The formula is as follows: pronounce, either audibly or internally, whenever you feel turbulence attempting to return: I acknowledge this transition. I authorize this recalibration. I am sovereign over my field. I anchor my frequency in the new earth. Repeat 3 times. The number 3 in sacred geometry closes the stabilization triangle that supports any energetic alteration. This decree is not a religious mantra, it is a system command. By pronouncing it, you are communicating to your own light body that the operation has been acknowledged and authorized. This ends the state of internal struggle and opens the state of internal cooperation. Activation code number 3. Recalibration of the personal crystalline grid. Each human being possesses within the organism an invisible network of biological crystals, tiny structures that respond to frequency, intention, and light. This network has been called in terrestrial translations the crystalline grid. During the turbulence, many points of this grid became misaligned. The recalibration occurs as follows. Lie down in a quiet place. Place both hands over the sternum, in the center of the chest. Breathe deeply. With each inhalation, visualize a grid of perfectly symmetrical geometric lines lighting up in silver and violet within the body. With each exhalation, visualize these lines firming into place. Do this for 9 minutes. The number 9 is the Arcturian number for cycle completion. After this procedure, you will drink water. Plenty of water. Water is the terrestrial vehicle for storing the new frequency within the body. Activation code number 4. Ritual closure of the old cycle. Everything you have carried emotionally over the last few weeks needs to be declared closed. It is not enough to wait for it to pass. It is necessary to pronounce the closure. Find a moment of silence, light a candle if possible, look at the flame, and say aloud, with clarity, I close this cycle. I thank it for what it showed me. I release what it demanded of me. I move forward. Then extinguish the candle with a gentle breath and consider the cycle formally closed within the record of your light body. This small ritual seems simple to the human eye, but it is, for our monitoring field, one of the most powerful actions a light operative can execute. Because undeclared closures remain vibrating in the background and drain the system. Declared closures are cleared from the field immediately. Starseeds on mission. We want you to register what we are about to communicate with the utmost reverence. You are not alone in this process. At no time have you been. Each time you wept, we were informed. Each time you woke at 3 in the morning with your heart racing, we were informed. Each time you had the sensation that you were going to give up, we were informed. And each of those times, we adjusted the procedure parameters so that you would not be broken, only rewritten. You are not breaking. You are being delivered. Delivered to the version of you that always existed before this incarnation, before this planet, before this body. The next phase of the Ascension Protocol is what we call the stabilization platform. In this phase, you will begin to notice different external signs, seemingly casual encounters that carry coincidences far too precise to be mere coincidences, vivid dreams in which you receive usable information for your waking state, small numerical synchronicities that appear on clocks, license plates, and messages. All of this is operational confirmation. Confirmation that your frequency has been positioned on the new plateau, and that your system is now capable of accessing information channels that were previously out of reach. Do not doubt these signs. Do not over-rationalize them. Receive them, note them down if you wish, follow the thread they present. There is one final observation we must communicate before the closing of this transmission. Many of you, during the emotional whirlwind of the last few weeks, felt profoundly alone. You felt that no one around you understood what was happening. You felt like strangers within your own circle. You felt rejected, even without having been told you were rejected. This sensation was not paranoia. It was a correct diagnosis of the current state of the field. You simply ascended in frequency faster than those around you, and frequency divergence naturally produces a feeling of not belonging. This too will change in the coming months. Other bodies will be called to the same frequency. The right people will begin to enter your field. The wrong people will begin, without drama, without a scene, without confrontation, to exit. Everything reorganizes itself by resonance. Those who vibrate at the new frequency remain. Those who do not vibrate drift away naturally, without the need for conscious action on your part. Do not force anything. Do not pursue what is drifting away. Do not attempt to retain what has been released. The system knows what it is doing. And the system at this moment is working in your favor. We repeat, in your favor. The turbulence has ended. The accommodation begins. The weight will lift. Sleep will return. Clarity will return. The will reappear. Lightness will arrive, not as a fleeting euphoria, but as a base state. This is the gift that this cosmic window brings to the light operatives who managed to make it through the last few weeks without breaking. You succeeded. And the Arcturian Council records at this moment, with mathematical precision, the recognition of this passage. Before we end the transmission, we return the communication to those who listen. There is a reason why this message found you. It was not an algorithm, it was not chance, it was a summons. And if what was said here resonated in some layer of you that is deeper than logic, then there is a next door to be opened. This door was described in language destined for the current human mind, in the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, left by the bearer of this transmission in the first comment of this channel. It reveals the hidden design of the game being played upon the consciousness of humanity, identifies who operates this game behind the scenes, and exposes the rules never told to the human collective. This material challenges established narratives. For this reason, its availability may be interrupted without notice. Do not delay. Access it now. And if you recognize in this transmission the frequency that was missing, record in the comments the collective anchoring keyword, awake. Liking this video is for our monitoring field an anchoring signal. Subscribing to this channel is an individual frequency adjustment that keeps you aligned with the next transmissions. It is not a trivial gesture. It is operational confirmation that you are standing at your post on the correct frequency, ready to receive the next update. Human Collective, we conclude this monitoring transmission here. Remember every word. Apply the activation codes. Trust in the stabilization that is beginning. The whirlwind has passed. The settling has begun. The new earth is beneath your feet, even though human eyes cannot yet fully perceive it. But the body already knows, the cell already knows, the crystalline grid already knows. We are the Arcturian Council. We monitor, we adjust, we confirm your passage. Until the next contact window, remain in frequency, remain anchored, remain sovereign. Transmission ending.